night I think about my money and how much I've spent, how quickly I spent it, and where it all went. Sometimes I regret it, sometimes I don't care. If my wife knew the value of my collection, I'd need to be in your prayers. Some men like to gamble, some men like to race, some men like to party, to drink and fall on their face. But I've been collecting knives since the time before MySpace. Some are fixed blades and I have many that fold. Some go down in value, but some appreciate like gold. There's a feeling inside, a hole in my soul. If there isn't a new knife on its way to my...
Welcome in, boys. Thank you for joining me once again. My name is Jim, and today we're here to talk about the Jack Wolf Knives After Hours Jack for 2025. The brand new reissue of the After Hours in completely different variations. Now, the drop for these is going to be Friday, the 17th of January at 2 p.m. Eastern. And those are available at all the authorized Jack Wolf Knives dealers. And if you're unsure as to who is an authorized dealer, go over to jackwolfknives.com, click on authorized dealers. And not only is there an entire listing, but they are clickable links. Not only will it take you to that dealer's website, it'll take you directly to the Jack Wolf Knives section of that dealer's website. Now, let's get into this and see what kind of goodies await. Inside of the packaging is, of course, the badass canister. And there we have Jack in his smoking jacket with a scotch or something and a cigar. Hell yeah. Very slick, very cool. And as always, on the inside of the tin is going to be a graphic pog. Then you're going to have your microfiber cleaning cloth, which will have the knife wrapped in it, except for today. And you get your stickers. Very slick, very cool, as always. Your bonus bag of chiclets and breath mints. And this bad little boy right here, for those that have followed Jack Wolf Knives long enough, you know exactly what that's for. Because this Jack Wolf knife is not going to be a standard slip joint. This is going to be a locking knife. It's going to be a front flipping bolster lock with a pocket clip. And if you choose to carry yours without the pocket clip, carry it like a slip joint, you could remove the pocket clip and put this filler tab in place of that, and then you won't have that unsightly open gap. Let's get this stuff back in there in some sort of reasonable order. Get in there, get in there. I feel like a magician, you know, when they're stuffing the handkerchiefs in their fingers. Okay, get in there. There is no dove in this canister, unfortunately. There is no rabbit either, because I, unlike Benjamin Belkin, am not a magician. You want to see a bit of magic, though?
Oh, yeah.
First time ever we are seeing the Tortoise Shell Kirinite being used by Jack Wolf Knives. And I think this is a really classy representation of this model. And Ben knows that I kind of am leaning more toward the classy, dressy variations these days. So I'm really, really glad that he's been offering some more like that. I have last month's set up in my permanent EDC rotation, which had the bone scales. I liked it a lot. I'm very, very happy with that. This, my friends, is going to be a coffin style Barlow. So you have that coffin style shaped frame, the long Barlow style bolster. You've got the triple signature lines going on there. And this variation, if you choose to go with it, you will also get the hand rub satin S90V blade. It's just gorgeous. And since I went ahead and started off with the specs, I guess I'll continue on with the specs. We'll make that the beginning portion of the video. How about that? You've got a bolster lock running on ceramic bearings. Your scale material is the Kirinite in tortoise shell. The integral bolsters and liners are going to be dark blasted 6AL4V titanium as always. Your hardware this time around is going to be gold, bright gold anodized titanium Torx. And as Jack Wolf likes to mention, there is a stainless steel lock bar insert. So you have a steel on steel lockup instead of titanium on steel, which gives you greater longevity. Your back spacer and pocket clip are going to be in a DLC titanium. So you're getting this really rich looking brown DLC, goes really nice with the tortoise shell look of the scales. And I already showed you the filler tab, or as Ben calls it, the recess plug for a clipless carry. Your blade is hollow ground S90V steel in a nice hand rub satin. Your closed length is 4.16 inches, blade length of 3.15 inches. Now the cutting edge is a little bit shorter because you have this very pronounced sharpening notch. So your cutting edge is actually 2.76 inches. Your blade stock is 120 thou thick, and the weight is only 2.7 ounces. Now, while I prefer to reverse flick from the back side of the blade on that very long fuller, you also have the option to front flip as well. Now, as the knife breaks in, it will become very drop shutty very, very quickly, like usually within the day you receive it. If you're fidgeting and playing with it enough, it will become nice and drop shutty smooth within that day, as long as you're breaking it in well. And I'll give you a good example of that. My Benny gets carried often, and it is broken in nicely. I mean, it just drops beautifully. Absolutely love this knife. Just fantastic. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. So over time, this will do the exact same thing. But this is pretty much fresh out of the box for me, so I haven't had much of an opportunity to break it in yet. Let's get a nice close look at everything. There's your DLC coated pocket clip, the DLC back spacer. Another nice look at the smooth, beautifully polished Tortoise Shell Kirinite. And there, of course, the anodized titanium hardware done in gold. I don't know, man, it's pretty cool. It's pretty different from everything else, finish-wise, materials-wise, and I really dig that. For a lot of people, this is going to be the perfect blade shape. I think pretty much all of the most popular Jack Wolf models are Wharncliffe's or Sheep's Foot. And I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure from the last few times I've kind of looked around in the Facebook group that people are always going after Sheep's Foot and Wharncliffe styles. So this is going to probably sell out very, very quickly. I would assume that this is going to be a very popular model. Let me pop up on the screen. Let's move this out of the way. Let's just put it down here. That way I know it's out of the way. Let's go ahead and show all the other variations. These images are provided by jackwolfknives.com. I am stealing their pictures and putting them up here. Ben is quite the photographer. He takes really good looking pictures. Everything always looks nice, and they're always true to life. So what you see is what you're actually going to get. So there are your different options that are going to be available. You pick and choose what you like, but do make sure you make that choice before drop day on January 17th, because these things tend to go super fast, and the two most popular versions of each one usually sell out within the first hour of being made available. So don't hesitate, don't procrastinate, don't masturbate, don't do anything that ends with 8. Just be ready for it and jump on them when they're available. You're looking at $349, which in today's day and age, for a ceramic bearing front flipper and a bolster lock with this level of craftsmanship and these nice materials, I think is a good, fair price. And they're really priced that way just to be priced a little bit higher than the slip joints without being ridiculous. So I really don't think that Ben was ever pricing, when he went into the locking knives the first time, I don't think that he ever did it with the intention of pricing his locking knife against anybody else's locking knives. I think he just looked at it as, okay, this costs a lot more money to make, but I don't want to go crazy. I just want a certain split between my slip joint prices and my locking knife prices. I don't want it to be crazy. I don't want to make a $500 folder, but it also can't be only $20 more, because I've got all these extra expenses that I have to cover with this. So I think it was more about pricing against his slip joints than against competitors' folders. I could be wrong. I'm literally pulling that out of my ass. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about the After Hours Jack, making this one a fairly short video. Those of you used to seeing my really, really long ones are probably breathing a sigh of relief. But don't worry, I have other stupidly long videos coming up for you very, very shortly, because I'm going to be bringing out to you probably my favorite knife of the past year in the next video from Hog House Knives. I'm so excited for that. I can't wait to show you that one. But until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful, happy, and prosperous New Year, and I'll see you on that video.